Hey Virgo, welcome to the Jezebel Way Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing your January love reading. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who inquired, who reached out to me, who messages of concern. I sure appreciate you guys. And to those of you who've purchased reads, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. I've been gone since mid-November until now, and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes just before Thanksgiving. So I just kind of took a break to kind of get my body back in balance. So new subscribers, welcome. Come on in. Cross watchers, come on in. Those of you who've been here since day one, I sure appreciate you guys. If you like the content of the channel, I normally do love reads. That's kind of just the way the cards come out for me. If you like the content, it resonates with you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We've come out of the Cancer full moon. Mercury is still in retrograde, okay, so tread lightly. And we're going to be going into the Capricorn full moon toward the end of the month. So, which I think is a really good thing because I think we'll refocus our efforts. So, let's see what we've got for you guys for love for January. V, victory in some endeavor. V for Virgo, V for victory. I like that, okay. Peacock, beware of great pride. Okay, all right. Whale, great worry over nothing. So, it looks like you may be on some sort of project here, Virgo, which would not be unlike Virgos. And you are trying to see something through to the end. So when you are in this project and you think you've got it all down, right? Don't get too cocky. Stay the course, right? Because sometimes we count our victory before we have a victory and it kind of shoots it out of the water. But don't worry that it's not going to be successful, because whatever it is you're trying to do will be successful. So, it's your hard work that makes it a success. So let's see what we have in love for Virgo for January. I can't seem to find the right words to say to you. Somebody wants to reach out and communicate. Somebody's afraid to reach out and communicate. I feel safer in the silence. It's easier just to stay away right now. So you kind of got someone who desires to reach out and communicate, but they're a little bit worried about doing that. They may have their fears, whatever the case is, but they're sticking to the silence right now. This may be someone that you wish would communicate with you or that you wish to communicate with. If you're thinking of reaching out to this person, let them have their space. They certainly desire to reach out to you, but they are sort of overcoming their fears in doing that. So let's see what we got for love for Virgo. Coming out on the top is the Queen of Coins, Virgo. So you are all about your work. Some of you may be throwing yourself into work to get over a lover. You may be trying to go out, go to events, try to distract yourselves. But you're definitely still working on your projects and working on your money and working on your home, whatever it is. There is a deception in being blocked here. I think you're going to learn about this here in a little while, but somebody you think, oh, they just don't want to talk to me. You know, sometimes we say, well, if they wanted to, they would, you know, and we go into that thing, and sometimes that's true, and sometimes it isn't. You know, sometimes there are other things about that, allowing people to have the space that they need to heal, to recoup, to whatever, to figure stuff out. Sometimes we get wrapped up in the ego thinking, well, if it doesn't benefit me in this moment, then what am I doing it for? Or why bother? you know, and sometimes we have to step outside of that ego and understand that everybody has their own journey they have to walk, whether we're a part of that journey or not, right? But you're going to be enlightened, okay, about someone who wishes to communicate and hasn't been communicating. There's a little bit of defensiveness moving forward in this situation because, Virgo, you're feeling some rejection here. The idea to communicate, you desire, they desire, but I think both of you are trying to throw yourselves into work to overcome or distract in some way, or throw yourselves into something to distract. So I have, of course, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I have Aries. I have Virgo. You're here. I also have Capricorn and Taurus, and Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So both of you are distracting yourselves from the elephant in the room. So let's see, Virgo, what's going on with your partner. You're on their mind, though. Seven of Coins popped out. They feel a little bit beat up right now, though. Wanting to move forward, yes. Wanting to move full steam ahead. But there's something. It's almost as if when they reach out to pick up the phone or they reach out to type that message, they stop themselves. They want to, you're on their mind. They want to reach out to communicate. They want to reach out and say, hey, you know what? I don't care if I was wrong or you were wrong or what. Let's just make this happen. Let's make this work, right? But let's see what stops them from communicating. What stops this lover of Virgos from communicating? Heartbreak. Heartbreak. Okay, so show me Three of Swords. Feeling beat up from heartbreak, making a decision. They know they need to apologize for something, but I think pride may kick in a little bit and then they change their mind. So that's their thing. They have to deal with it. Let's see what's going on for Virgo. You're trying to find balance in illusions. You're trying to get back into routine, get grounded in something, right? To show you what's real and what's not real. I think that's where you're having the hardest time is thinking to yourself, was this really real? I mean, did this really happen? Was this really, was this really love or was this a mistake? You know, you're trying to ground yourself to find answers. Sometimes when we do go back to routines or we try to ground ourselves in routines, that's a good thing because it's the constant line in all of the chaos, right? And sometimes people grounding themselves in routine clears the mind to be able to think of something in a more objective way. Okay, so that's what you're doing. You're trying to keep the chaos at bay. You're trying to keep the illusion and confusion and fog brain at bay because you do want to move forward. And I think you're just seeking some answers here, Virgo, and you're not finding them because there's no communication and it's kind of like dead ass silence, you know, and you're kind of like, you know, you're trying to keep yourself from overreacting. Let's just put it that way, okay? So let's see what's going on between the two of you. What's going on between you guys aren't juggling the romance anymore. You've clearly gone through a separation or some sort of a breakup or time off. You both desire the cycle to reopen again. But you're both suffering loss, okay? And that's a theme. It's been a theme in most of the videos that I've put out this month about what might have been. Suffering the loss of a dream. Suffering the loss of, this would have been a beautiful relationship. Things like that. So everybody's kind of feeling that. I attribute that to the Cancer full moon energy. There are a lot of memory hopping, right, with the Cancer full moon. So that energy may still be, kind of here. So everybody's experiencing the what might have been kind of thought process. Work through it, move through it, and move on, right? So let's see what your blocks are, what the blocks are for your partner, Virgo. Runaway card. Okay, Virgo, your partner's holding on to you. That's one block. So sometimes when we hold on to somebody, we're holding on to somebody at a point in time, right? And in our mind, this person may not have evolved. We may not have accounted for them to grow. We may not have accounted for the relationship and our own growth to allow things to evolve. So also this lends to the idea that there may have been issues between the two of you about progress happening with you, Virgo, or trying to count and measure the progress. And you weren't seeing progress with this situation or with this partner. So they're holding on to you. Even though they're not talking to you, you think, well, it's just straight up rejection. You know, if they wanted to, they would. They're still holding on to you in a very real way. But what they're not accounting for is that you've both been separated. You may have been separated for a little bit. You may have been separated for a while. But you're both evolving during this process of separation because that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to grow and evolve and change for the better, right? So you may be dealing with a person who does not like transition, who does not like change, and who may be trying to hold on to an idea pre-separation. Let's see what your blocks are. So you're Virgo, you're trying to entertain an idea here because there was no commitment and there's no communication that it wasn't real, right? That we can possibly, be soulmates, could we? Because there's no communication. He's not here, she's not here. There's like nothing. So it must not be the case. So when you go into that thought process, you have to really stop and ask yourself, what do you feel? What did you feel? What is the universe showing you? What kind of validation are you getting for believing, number one, that you were soulmates, and number two, why you're not? Also, you're thinking here, the commitment is equal in the connection. So you're saying here that because the commitment didn't happen, the action didn't happen, then it must not have been real. And that's still a matrix ego thought process, right? That we have to have input, output, right? Sometimes things don't flow that way. People's feelings don't happen that way. So also you're sitting here thinking that you may want to reach out and communicate to them. This person is in their silent hermit mode. They are not reaching out to you. It's easier to stay away right now. I feel safer in the silence. So right now may not be the best time to communicate with this person. And it's hard. It's hard not to reach out and say, hey, what's up? How you doing? Where you been? But right now, their silence they're using as like a wall and a shield to process and to overcome some hurt and pain of their own. So if they are in silence with you, give them their space. But let me ask the question here about this card, about whether you should reach out or not. Excuse me. Should Virgo reach out? Show me the Nine of Swords. Show me the Nine of Swords. Should Virgo reach out? It's got the three. Excuse me. These just flew across the damn room. It's got the Three of Cups in reverse next to the Knight of Swords. And so that leads me to believe that it's not going to be a party if you reach out, okay? It's not going to be a party. So for me, the answer is no. At this time, let them be in their silence. Don't feel compelled to reach out because they haven't reached out to you. Just let them be in their silence. Let's see what the blocks are in between the two of you. What's the blocks between? This person, something has happened that's kind of stripped them bare. Whatever that is for them. So they're trying to start all over from point zero. Whatever that is. Blocks between the two of you. Stagnation. Virgo, you're very methodical about doing things. Things have to be done in a certain way, which is beautiful, right? It's beautiful. We all aspire to that, right? But there's something here about putting a break on, putting a pause on to this situation. Show me the blocks for Virgo and their lover. Somebody here feels trapped in the amount of time and length of time, the slowness of it all. Somebody felt trapped. And I'm thinking, you know, maybe this is you. You weren't seeing a lot of progress here. But somebody felt trapped here in the idea that, you know, this is going to take forever and a day. I'm not sure I have the patience or the willpower or the strength to, like, you know, see this through. Virgo, I feel like that's you talking about the progress of this person, whatever that progress may have been. Whether it was in the relationship, waiting for the commitment, asking for the commitment, or it was a matter of, you know, being patient while this person processed whatever it was they were going through. You weren't seeing the progress. And so, Virgo, I feel like you have an action-based way of deducing progress or feelings or discernment of any kind, right? It's actions, right? This person isn't so much, the pace is pretty slow for this person. You didn't see any transformation. You didn't see any change. And so what led to the tower moment here? So the block is this person's got some stuff they need to process. They're in silence with you right now, and they're probably in silence with other people in their life. They may be blocking communication out for other people. They may not be interacting with people, which could mean they're, you know, undergoing some sort of a depression. So reaching out may not be the best option right now. If they're working through something, let them sit in that and work it out. Don't hinder their progress. Don't hinder their, whatever this time is that they've got to sit there and sit with something, whether it's a breakup with you or something else going on in their life. But let's see how they feel about you. And also you have to learn to detach from the situation enough to say, I want what's best for you. I want you to be happy and healthy. I want you to have the time you need to process something without it meaning that, well, if you're not with me, then fine. Well, if you can't get over this, excuse me, long enough to let's be in a commitment, then fine. You know, you have to kind of detach enough from something here that's happening with this person to say, you know what, it's cool. Take all the time you need. I want what's best for you. I want you to be happy. However, not as an ultimatum, but as a matter of fact. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to go on and live my life. I understand, but I've got a whole life here. I can't wrap up and put all my eggs in your basket over here while you're processing. And it's not meant to be like, well, fuck you. You know, it's just kind of like, I understand, take all the time you need. We're on a break. I get it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop my life. I'm going to go on with my own thing, right? In which, I mean, I think it's fair to do that, right? Let's see how they're feeling about you. There's something that was said to you or you said to them that may have been out of anger, frustration, lack of patience, which, you know, this person is like not getting up, you know, and so it's kind of easy to sort of lose your patience with somebody. But the expectation was for this to turn into commitment, or for there to have been some progress here, right? And so I think part of the problem here is that the frustration came out in communication. So that's what they're thinking about. They desire to have the commitment with you. But there's something else here. So let me see what the High Priestess is. They desire to have a commitment and a family, depending on the ages of you people out there. Long-term commitment. They desire to be about family, right? They want to communicate that with you. Maybe there's children involved, or there's a desire to have children, or whatever the scenario. But there's something here about why didn't it happen then, right? So let me ask the question. So what's the separation for then? If the desire is the same, then what's the separation here for? Okay. Something with sex, something with new beginnings, anxiety, intimacy, opportunities, relationship, marriage, starting over from scratch, moving, could be moving in with each other, or finding a place, or yeah, there's some issue, lack of courage in forward movement. So what is it? What is it? Truth. Wish fulfillment is Lovers. Either somebody was married, for a select group of you out there, somebody was already married, and you're like, okay, are you getting a divorce today, tomorrow, next year, and 6 months from now? What are we doing? Or there was some problem in the bedroom, okay? There's some issue with sex in the bedroom, some problem there. And then for others of you, this may have been a person who has a tendency to cope with their penis, you know, or the other one, right? They have a tendency to emotionally cope through destructive patterns. So for some of you, you're going through a rough patch. This person's going through a rough patch in their life, and they have destructive coping mechanisms, drinking, sex, whatever. And they stepped out of the relationship. For some of you, it looks like that. They have a tendency to slide back into a sex, drugs, rock and roll mentality in order to cope with emotional crisis. But Virgo, you on the other hand have very healthy coping mechanisms. I mean, to a point, you're not sex, drugs, rock and roll over here, but you're more like work, work, work as a means of distraction. They're sex, drugs, rock and roll as a means of distraction. So you both kind of have, it's kind of the same thing, just one choice is worse than the other in a way. So those are the three scenarios about why there may be a separation. Let's see what they're thinking. Yeah, sex, drugs, rock and roll, out of balance. I did it to myself. Lack. I'm single because of my own bullshit. I didn't take the opportunities that were given to me. I wasn't honest and transparent about my own healing. I betrayed myself. I wasn't making progress. I was holding back. I was trying to distract myself from burdens. I was breadcrumbing my lover, because I was emotionally unavailable to give anything to them at that time. That's what I'm getting. So let's see kind of what they are afraid to tell you and what a final outcome can be. They want a new beginning. They want to tell you the truth. They don't want to fight anymore. This, whatever, for this group of people I was talking about that had the sex, drugs, rock and roll groupie lady in, that is no more, which, I mean, is that neither here nor there. I kind of feel like there's been some therapeutic things going on for this person, Virgo. They may have gone to therapy, or they may have, you know, I mean, for all we fucking know, they're court ordered to go to therapy. We don't know. But they have arrived from a place of lack to a place of victory. So there's been some sort of progression for them in processing or dealing with whatever this is. They're trying not to be defensive, but they did lie to you and create illusions, and they know they broke your heart. They were breadcrumbing. Moving forward, they are in balance now. They don't like being separated from you. They would like to move forward with plans for the future. Some of them could have been dealing with sex addiction. They're trying to deal with that and move away from that, laying down burdens, laying down player. That's what destroyed their relationship and destroyed most of their relationships, destroyed their commitments, and destroyed most of their lives. Transformation happening. There's been a death to that. So let's see what a final outcome can be. Better hurry it up. They want to move forward with you and tell you that, you know, they've laid some things down in their life. I've got, you know, the being trapped card, the victimization card, the jail card, the rehab card, the sex anonymous card, whatever it is, in the reverse here. So again, I'm getting the feeling that they've gone through some sort of a program here, right? And they're trying to work on that. They know that you're single and they think you may have plenty of options here, so they're going to kind of hang back when they do approach you. But they want you to know that they've rejected something that they were carrying or something that held them back. They've rejected that and they've overcome it. And they desire to move forward because, after all, they are hanging on to you. And they feel like they've healed. So I think the final outcome is not necessarily a reunion of this, but a conversation that happens. So you can see the progress for yourself and they can explain to you what's going on, or some sort of communication. Just may not be right now. This may not even happen until well into Aquarius season. So there's that. Let's see what they want to say to you. I let my ego get in our way, absolutely. I couldn't let go of my pride, but you saw through me. You know the truth about me. And vulnerability, of course, may be a big major issue for them because, you know, they see through your ass like glass. You know, this saying goes, right? You see through their ass like glass, right? And a lot of times when your soulmate twin flame situation, for some of you out there that resonate with that, your twin flame can look right through you, okay, through all of the walls that you try to put up. Because remember, I'm a gold medalist track star in running, okay? I'm like out the dope. I feel their energy anywhere near me, and I'm like putting on my track shoes, okay? Also, that has to do with issues of being vulnerable to someone else, okay? So when you have a problem with being vulnerable and then your twin can see like right through to your soul No matter what you say or how many walls you put up or what kind of bullshit line you try to give them, they're like, yeah, whatever. That can make somebody who's already dealing with some vulnerability issues very uncomfortable. So, you saw through me. You know the truth about me. Absolutely. And now I'm going to wrap it up with that because I really think that's the whole kit and caboodle right there. Okay, so let's see what's going on in the bedroom. This person, a select few of you in this collective may be dealing with people who have sex addictions. They may have other addictions, you know. But let's see what's going on here. There was some problem earlier in the read about the bedroom. Show me Virgo and their lover universe. They miss quiet moments with you, breakfast time, or intimate times in the kitchen. There was a sense of sensuality between the two of you, an appreciation. So I don't think the bedroom problem was between the two of you. I mean, this was kind of an anywhere, anytime type of situation. So let's get some love cards on it. Sometimes when people go through things and they have this, you know, it looks strange to us that they're coping in this way or coping in that way. We don't necessarily realize that, right? And so we're like, well, they're acting like a big damn jerk, or I can't believe they're doing that. You know, it looks crazy to us because we're not in here, right? So that just popped up to me about understanding what something looks like. It looks like it's out of control, and it is out of control because their coping skills aren't quite up to par. Act as if your partner is here, 17-8, abundance returning to love. Whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them. Well, you take that for what you like it for. Consider your foundation. You're being asked to look at how committed you are to love. How committed you are to this love, right? And it doesn't mean you got to take somebody's shit and go through their crazy, whatever they're doing to prove you love them. No, we don't do that, okay? We self-love, we heal, we work our stuff, we balance ourselves out, we attract, we don't chase, because that's still a chasing kind of deal. But this is a saying that there are changes that are going to be happening. And so it may be time to consider the foundation of something. The foundation of their recovery. The foundation of where you're at in your life right now. The only thing that is real is love, too. Coming together. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. You know, shift your focus from the problem back to love. That can mean many things. It doesn't necessarily mean that person. It means love of self. Shift your focus off of this situation back to yourself, right? That's what that can mean as well. So let's get some advice cards on it, and we'll call it a wrap. It's kind of a long one. Heart of the matter. Align life's pathways through the heart. So maybe it's time to stop thinking through the heart, through the mind, and the ego. Stop thinking through the ego and think through the heart chakra. I love you unconditionally, whether you're in my life or not, whether you act the way I think you should or not, right? Whether we're together or not. I love you unconditionally. Send them that. Think about it. and put them over here where you need to put them. The focus should return to you. Way of faith. Let faith be your guide. Okay? You know what you know what you know. Fine wine. Longing is the portal to wholeness. Okay? Not sure what that's talking about because I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Longing is a symptom of a need for validation and what's missing here. What you perceive to be missing. Wholeness is about validating oneself. So longing is not the portal to wholeness. I mean, if it's talking about a healing journey, then yes. But sitting with oneself and balancing oneself out is a portal to wholeness. So Virgo, that's what I have for you guys, and I'll see y'all later.